Let's go.
Yes, y'all. From not the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership, from my crib in an undisclosed location. Let's start this over. It's Texas Football Today, a show on the internet. I am Ashley Pickle, the video director for Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, and TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I guess we'll address the obvious. A little different scenery today, and I will be doing the show solo today and tomorrow. So we'll go ahead and get this out of the way, and then we'll hit some of the reasons as to why. Now, today is Tuesday, October 6th. 50 days until Thanksgiving. We're in the final countdown there. It is October 6th, the birthday of Trevor Lawrence. He's turning 21 today. This is episode 1256. On today's show, friends, we talk with Greg Powers of Next Level Athlete to take a look at some of the top recruiting prospects in the state in This Week in Recruiting. Then we hear Powers' conversation with Flower Mound tight end Caden Jensen. And then at the back half of the show, we will show you our Parker University game-winning decision of the week. So we're still moving. We're still going. We'll go first four through the door here was Aaron Arbuckle, Tony Blaylock, Ryan Smiga, and Aaron Flynn. We don't like to hide anything from you. Sorry, I'm going to be facing this way a little bit. It's a makeshift studio that we have here, but we're able to give you the show. So we hope that is good enough for you guys there. There have been some health concerns in the office regarding COVID. So everyone is doing perfectly fine, but out of abundance of caution, we're going to go ahead and work from home for the rest of the week, just being safe, trying to keep people healthy. So it'll be me on the show for the next 2 days. We will not have a show on Friday. I have to get down to a game close to the Houston area, so I'm going to leave a little bit early. So just a programming note there. We've obviously got the show happening now, and then we will have a show tomorrow. Another thing before we get into the show here that probably needs to be addressed. It's been in the comments. As you know, we're not in the business of talking super newsy type stuff, and when I say that, a lot of people commenting prayers for Mansfield ISD. For those of you who don't know, there was an active shooting scenario at Mansfield Timberview High School this morning. Like I said, it's not really usually on us to report stuff like this, but I am a very firm believer that since this is an ongoing situation, if there's anything on this platform that we can do to kind of bring awareness and possibly help the scenario, that we should use our time to do that. So just the two things that we want to say here, we won't get too far into it, is that one, if you know any parents who have children at that high school and are looking to get to them, they're encouraging everyone to go to the Performing Arts Center there for Mansfield, which is 1110 West Debbie Lane in Mansfield, Texas. Again, if there's any parents that need to go pick up their children, that's at the Performing Arts Center. And one other thing, they have identified a possible suspect, and he is still out there right now, might be driving a 2018 silver Dodge Charger with the license plate PFY 6260. So 2018 silver Dodge Charger with license plate PFY 6260. The police department has asked that if anyone sees that vehicle with the possible suspect in it for the active shooting at Mansfield Timberview, that you call 911 and address that. So again, I won't go too much further into that other than if you're the praying type, now is definitely the time to not only pray for Mansfield Timberview, but for Mansfield ISD as a whole, and anyone who possibly was affected by that. Our hearts go out to not only the students, but the teachers and everyone else involved. But I felt like it was definitely worthy, since this is still ongoing, that if we can possibly try and do anything we can to help, that this would be a good platform to do it on. So again, our thoughts are with everyone involved in that. All right, those are never fun, so we're going to do the Tepper clap there, and still, have our thoughts there, but move on and keep going on with the show. So, with that being said, I caught up with our Mountain, everyone's favorite Greg Powers, earlier this morning to do some This Week in Cruton. So, without further ado, it's what everyone actually wants to see here, and that is more Greg Powers.
I'm Ashley Pickle. That's Greg Powers, and this is This Week
in Cruton.
It is This Week in Recruiting, where we are joined by Next Level athletes Greg Powers to take a look at some of the top prospects in the state. And of course, this excellent segment is brought to you by our excellent chicken friends at Chicken Express.
It's fresh and you can taste the difference.
They need to hire you for marketing at this point. Like, someone at Chicken Express, don't steal our guy, but maybe throw him some side money,
There'd be no better ambassador for the product, I can tell you that.
You're not wrong. All right, Powers, we'll go ahead and get into it here. Taking a look first off at our prospect on the rise. It's a DCTF 3-star who is verbally committed to Baylor in DeSoto's defensive back, Devin Bobby, having a huge senior year. I know I got to see him play against Duncanville, and while that didn't come up on the same side for DeSoto, the kid he's everything you want back there in the backfield.
Well, DeSoto has a knack for producing these guys that may not be the top-rated guy in the program, but then when they go on to college, they're inherently really good, and that's just because the program has so much talent. And now I can see that your notes match up with mine and also Guy Frazier's. We've all had the chance to see him in person this year. In every game that we've watched him in, he's really performed well. The game I saw him in was against Arlington Bowie, and he had 2 interceptions in that game and was really active, always around the football, and is just one of those guys that just has a knack to make plays on the defensive side of the ball. As a matter of fact, I think I used the descriptive word ball hawk in the article this week. So that was how I kind of described his game, and that's what he is. I don't necessarily know exactly what position is going to fit him best at the next level, whether it's safety or corner, but I do think he has the skill set to play multiple positions in the defensive backfield, and he's going to make plays no matter where you line him up. So just a really good football player, and he actually got an opportunity to move into the top 100 because Bear Alexander transferred to IMG Academy. That not only opened up a slot in the top 100, it also opened up a slot in the top 10. Devin Bobby slides into the top 100, and Cam Dewberry slid into the top 10. We just couldn't feature Cam this week because we just featured him last week or the week before, so it was going to be too much Cam Dewberry, but opportunity there for 2 guys to move up in the rankings this week.
Yeah, really good. I think ball hawk's the perfect way to describe him too. Always has his eyes up, really scanning the backfield there. So I know I was impressed when I saw him. But moving on here to our commit of the week, heading down south a little bit, Colleen Shoemaker, 2022 wide receiver and cornerback, Omari Evans. He is committed to Penn State, but man, he had a plethora of offers. And another guy, I believe, checking into that DCTF top 100.
Yeah, no doubt. And he is a guy that really I've struggled a little bit with what position I think fits him best, and that is cornerback or wide receiver. At first, I thought, because he's 6 foot 170 and he has such great hip flexibility and agility, that cornerback may be the best fit for him. But as things have progressed throughout his development in high school, he's super dangerous with the football in his hands. And as a matter of fact, if you wanted to check the recruiting annals at texasfootball.com/recruiting. We have a really good article up on him from Adam Ogburn back on July 27th, where he said that he really prefers to play on the offensive side of the football. And now that he's made his commitment to Penn State, I think he could be one of those guys because of his speed, his open field, make you miss ability, could be that guy in the Big Ten that is very special. And certainly Texas guys on the offensive side of the ball who have went on to play at Penn State, they've been able to be instant impact type of guys. We see that with young man. I can't remember, his first name escapes me at the moment, but the Washington kid who's up there, been playing for 2 years, has been a guy in the slot that's made a lot of difference for the Nittany Lions. And they're one of the top-rated programs in the entire country right now. Have a big game on tap this week against Iowa. So perfect timing for Omari Evans to make his commitment there. And I think Penn State's kind of getting his feel. He might be a little bit underrated at number 97 in the state in the DCTF Hot 100.
And before we move on to our underclassmen of the week, when you see recruits like this that are the two-way type of players, do you see that they typically, that's kind of their number one thing that they're looking for on recruiting is, if I want to play on one side of the ball, I'm going to go here, rather than taking a look at maybe the school as a whole?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I think that you really wanted to think what position fits me best and who's extended me an offer to play that position. That's something that you're certainly going to look into. But I think that Omari Evans is going to be one of those types of guys, and just reading his comments and what he thinks about the games from the articles that he's done in the past, he's not going to be limited down to just say, oh, I only have to play wide receiver. I think he's going to play the position that probably advances his goals to get to the NFL, and whether that be wide receiver or cornerback, certainly he has his eyes on wanting to keep that football in his hands. But don't be surprised if cornerback or defensive back clears a path for him to play in the league. He's probably going to do it, after he gets in the college strength and conditioning program and gets it there with his coaches at Penn State. Maybe he does flip over and play on the defensive side of the ball someday. It's kind of jury out on that type of stuff, because these guys are so talented. And don't forget, Omari Evans is also a 3-sport athlete in high school, and I mentioned that he may be underrated at 97 in the DCTF Hot 100, and that's one of the reasons why, because he's really good, at track and field and playing some other sports as well. So he has a high upside.
Absolutely. We're talking with Greg Powers, our recruiting analyst from Next Level Athletes. You can get involved with the conversation, hashtag TF Today. Powers, let's matriculate over to our underclassmen of the week. We're going to go to John Tyler, and this is a program that's full of a lot of young stars, but one particularly sticks out, and that's 2024 athlete Derek McFall. And how about that for Mr. McFall picking up his first offer from the University of Texas this week? And when you hear Derek McFall, I think the first thing that kind of comes to your mind is electric. Yeah, no doubt about it. His tape really popped, and when he picked up that offer from Texas, first, before we even get into McFall, first and foremost, Coach Rickland Holmes has been telling us about this guy, and we were kind of waiting for him to emerge on the recruiting radar. And at the beginning of the year, this is just not a tape that I had watched yet. I'd heard about his name and saw that he was one of those guys that the coaching staff there was high on. And then when he picked up that offer from Texas this week, wasted little time popping on that tape to see what he was bringing, and it was like one of those jaw-dropping type of moments. This is a kid who they use in multiple positions, line up in the slot, move him around to do different things, and he is a blazer. He has one of those highlight reels that you're just like, wow, anytime he touches the football, he could take it to the house. He has great short area explosion. He can make you miss in a very tight space, and then he has the top-end speed to cash it in and turn those small plays into big plays. And that's what makes him special. And when your first offer is from the University of Texas, guess what? More offers are coming, Derek McFall. You're going to be one of those guys that everybody knows about. That's kind of one of those sound the alarm type of offers right there when you get that as number one. And finally, to wrap it all out, let's talk about our recruit of the week. This one a little bit interesting. Excited to get your take on this, but Frisco Memorial 2022 wide receiver Zion Steptoe. Now, he was committed to Utah and has now decommitted. He's one of the top-rated receivers in the DFW, and he's got tons of other offers, including Purdue, Hawaii, Kansas, Kentucky, Pittsburgh, all names you heard before. First off, what do you think maybe kind of went into the decision that Utah wasn't for him, and where do you think he might end up now? Well, the jury's going to be out on where he ends up. He still has multiple visits to take. He took an official visit to Purdue, and he took an official visit to Utah. So he still has 3 available official visits, and it'll be interesting to see who turns the heat up in his recruitment. And
really this recruit of the week over the last couple of weeks has been like decommitment central, because there have been a lot of guys who have made early commitments. Now that the season is kind of unwinding itself, they're getting back onto the open market and looking into some different schools. And it could be a number of reasons which leads to that. Zion is one of these kids that I really like, because he not only brings a good game on the field, and he's worked extremely hard to turn himself into a top tier prospect. He's always been pretty good at Frisco Memorial, but I think he really put in a lot of hard work in the off season. And Coach Rob over there at Frisco Memorial has always been, kind of making sure that we look out for him. And I've seen his progression from the early stages until what he is now, who is like a team leader, one of the top wide receivers in the DFW. But what I really like about him is he's got these Ivy League offers. So that he's not only bringing it on the field, he's bringing it academically in the classroom. So when you talk decommitment, you certainly don't have to worry about what he's doing in the classroom or anything like that. There's no underlining issues, I think, with Zion Steptoe that you have to be worried about. If you're a college program, listen to this, and you're looking for a good wide receiver that can line up and do multiple things within your offense, whether it's playing in the slot or sliding outside to make deep plays vertical, then I think Zion Steptoe is a guy that you should look at. And if you ask me, like for Zion Steptoe, I would just pick Purdue because he's already visited there. But Pittsburgh and Kentucky were two schools I know at the P5 level that was really high on him early on, and he has a lot of offers. And I think he's one of these guys that will continue to get action. As a matter of fact, your North Texas Mean Green ought to be giving Coach Rob a call to get him an offer soon.
Well, a guy who is always our number one pick, Greg Powers, Next Level Athlete. You can follow him at GPowersScout on Twitter, and Next Level Athlete at Next Level D1. Powers, appreciate you taking the time, and do it again next week. Also, I like your bats in the background back there. Spooky season. Had to shout that out.
Well, I will say that they are butterflies this year. So we've graduated. It's always been bats in the past for Halloween, but we're doing the butterfly motif this year, so we're giving it a change.
Okay. Different kind of spooky season. I like it. Bowers, appreciate it, man.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip here on YouTube. Fast scans, happy fans. Hometown Ticketing is proud to be the official digital ticketing solution of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Simplify your school's ticketing with Hometown, providing schools nationwide with the best options for digital ticketings for their events. Visit their website at hometownticketing.com to learn how they can make digital ticketing possible at your school. That's hometownticketing.com.
Appreciate Powers hopping on with us as always. Always great to see him. And I don't know if I was the only one that didn't know butterflies were a thing around Halloween time, but if anybody has an explanation for that, drop that in the comments. Maybe we'll talk about it in final thoughts, because I was confident that those were bats. They were, in fact, not bats. But regardless, appreciate Powers taking the time there. And don't worry, friends, the Powers train is still rolling here, as he caught up with Flower Mound tight end Caden Jensen last night to talk a little bit of Flomo football. So here is Greg Powers' conversation with Flower Mound tight end Caden Jensen.
Greg Powers, TexasFootball.com. And like we do every week, I'm joined by one of the state's top recruits, DCTF top 100 member, Caden Jensen. Big honor, man. You made the magazine out of the class of 2023 top 100. What was that like, seeing your name in print?
It was amazing. I was injured during that time, and so when my mom brought me that magazine and I saw my name in there, that really lifted my spirits up. It kind of relayed some of the hard work that I've been putting in, and showed me that some of that stuff is coming to light. And it was just really cool. It was a great honor to see myself mentioned in the Texas Football Bible. So
we have actually a little bit of history. I don't know how old you are the first time I met you, but you came through the Dave Campbell's offices before, and I swear you were at least 6'3", and you were probably maybe 13 years old. You've continued on a great trajectory there. Have you always been bigger than all the other kids you've been playing against?
Yes, sir. Yes, I have. I've always had that height advantage and that weight advantage. Really, my family, we breed I've always had that height advantage, and it's definitely given me advantage. But yeah, I've always been taller, and it's been kind of fun. But now coming into this high school, I've seen more guys my size, and it's getting more competitive, which I like. I love it.
I see you wearing that Flower Mound shirt proudly tonight. I got to tell you a little bit of my family history. My cousin, James Hanna, was one of the greatest tight ends to play at Flower Mound High School. And there's just something about, like, even if it's Flower Mound or Flower Mound Marcus, that city just seems to groom great tight ends. What is it? Is there something in the water there that is like tight end water?
I mean, I guess something in the water or the food there that town feeds us. It's a great town, and with the whole community and such, and the coaches are great from all three districts. Great, and so it really sets us up, like people like me, in an environment to succeed and to go on and play like James Hanna. So it's a really great environment to be in.
What are some of your biggest strengths at the position? What do you think sets you apart?
Well, some of my biggest strengths, I would say, was probably my long reach. I pride myself on catching balls in traffic. That's what I'm used a lot for, and getting separation. Really, I also really pride myself on blocking. I see a lot of tight ends; they're mainly pass tight ends, and I kind of want to set myself apart with being able to be a pass threat and a run threat as well. So I pride myself being a then working with my O-line, and then catching balls in heavy traffic areas with my long reach, and getting up and high pointing balls in the back of the end zone, and slipping out and finding those defensive weak points and just exploiting it with my height.
One thing that jumped out to me is that I look at your height and weight, 6'6", 245, 250 pounds, and you automatically think, this guy's going to be a blocking tight end. But when breaking down your film, looking at your highlight tape, you are a good pass catcher. Do you feel like people do sleep on you as like that being one of the biggest strengths of your game?
I do feel at times I do. It's always been a joke that I've been on the of the line of going as like a tackle sort of thing. But I just keep my head down, and that pushes me more, seeing all those people kind of not doubt me, but just kind of like take my height and weight for granted, and just automatically assuming that I'm just a run block tight end, which I'm not. That just makes me work harder and want to prove myself more as like a passing tight end.
Obviously, man, you're going to start to become on more and more college radars as coaches get a chance to check out your junior tape. But there are probably some schools that are showing you some early interest. I saw that you recently got invited to a game up at Colorado, so I know that that's one school on your list. Who are some of those programs that have really started to take a step up in their interest level with you? Sure.
I know Texas Tech has been reaching out to me a lot. I'm actually going to the Texas Tech versus Iowa or Iowa State game in early February. They've been really great with reaching out and contacting me and just, keeping up with me. So I've got Texas Tech, and then Iowa State has been sending me some mail as well and kind of keeping in contact along with Tulsa. And then obviously Colorado just sent that invite, which I was unfortunately not able to go to, but I will be seeing a Colorado football game in person. But yeah, I just got those few different schools reaching out to me. A few others just following me on Twitter and sending me some mail. So yeah.
You have a good teammate there to look to when it comes to the recruiting process. Nick Evers is committed to Florida. Just as a younger guy looking to his recruitment and kind of watching him go through it, is there anything that you might have picked up from him that you feel like you've learned?
One thing that he personally told me, because I was with him along the way, we had the same lunch together in school, and so he was frequently getting those recruiting calls. And we would just talk about it. And the main thing that he told me was just to enjoy the process. And for him, it got pretty extensive, but he never lost sight of what he was doing it for. And, he just enjoyed every second of it. So I think that's what I'm getting ready for, is I'm already loving every second of it. And I know it's just starting. And so I'm just looking forward to what the future brings. Yeah, just don't take things for granted and just enjoy it, because it doesn't happen to everyone. So.
One lesson I think that all recruits who would be watching this interview, listening to the show this week, should take into account when looking into Nick's recruitment is patience. You know, he wasn't the starting quarterback right away at Flower Mound. He had to work hard to get on the field there. And then once he got on the field, he actually earned all of the attention that he received. And I think a lot of guys can look to that and learn a lesson from that, that it's not just going to happen overnight. And sometimes you do have to work hard for everything that you get, especially within a recruiting process that a lot of other top guys in the country are competing for offers at your same spot. That's a lesson even I learned. You know, I've been doing this, been in this business for a long time, but watching him go through that process was really neat to kind of to watch that and discover it. I know for you, Caden, there's there's a lot of time left, right? You have a lot of time. You have a whole junior season, your whole senior season. But is there something that you feel like that when you look to make a college decision, whether it be for academics or athletics or anything, what do you think that you're really going to be interested in that college experience? Is there something that you feel like a college has to have?
I've always prided myself on my education. So obviously that education comes in that first slot. Aside from that, really just the feeling of like being a part of a family really. And I the community really, and the whole school atmosphere. I kind of take that into account. Although I haven't really made my list yet, I will definitely be taking that into account with the education and the overall feeling, the family vibe that I get. Because I want to go to a school that truly wants me, because I want to give all I can to them. I hope that in return. So
you heard it from the man right there, Caden Jensen. Thanks for the time. I know big things are coming for you in the future on the recruiting trail, and good luck to you. And I'm going to be patiently waiting and watching for that first school to pop up on your radar and pull the trigger on the offer. I know it won't be long.
There it is. Greg Powers' conversation with Flower Mound tight end Caden Jensen. And I think that really cool there. One, that Caden gave us the time to catch up with him, but then two, to hear that intro story to him being injured and seeing his name on that top 100 list and picking up his spirits a little bit. That is always something that's really enjoyable for us to hear. And man, you want to talk about a district to keep your eye on. 6A right now is just going to be a dogfight to the end. Louisville's 5-0. You've got to think that they're probably the front runner. But I mean, Flower Mound Marcus, Hebron's 2-0 in district, Coppell is 2-0 in district. So that'll be a fun district to keep an eye on there, and you can assume that Caden Jensen's going to do his part for those Jaguars right there. We are Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We hope that you will become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. That's texasfootball.com/subscribe. And here's the thing. Holiday season is quickly approaching. Got my fall decor back here. Obviously, you don't usually get gifts for Christmas. For Halloween and Thanksgiving, but it's never too early to start planning Christmas gifts, and you might as well give one early. TexasFootball.com/subscribe. 2 magazines, a year's worth of online content, premium podcasts like Tep and Step, where they just absolutely nerd out more than anyone ever asked them to, but they enjoy it, and we enjoy listening to it. So TexasFootball.com/subscribe to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. Now, folks, one more thing left to do, and that is to announce the Parker University game-winning decision of the week. Parker University and Dave Campbell's Texas Football are proud to present the game-winning decision of the week to one of Texas high school football's best decision-makers. Synapse Human Performance Centers and Parker University Sports and Performance Center treats athletic injuries and provides sports rehabilitation to help get athletes competing as fast as possible. You can learn more at synapsehpc.com. That's synapsehpc.com. This week's Parker University game-winning decision of the week. Robert Fitzgerald ran for 4 touchdowns, including the go-ahead 13-yard touchdown with 1 minute and 17 seconds left. On the ensuing drive, he then came down with a game-clinching interception in the final minutes as the Rangers knocked off previously unbeaten Lake Highlands 48-45. Fitzgerald was Dallas Morning News Defensive Player of the Week and could have easily been the Offensive Player as well. Coach Brandon Hickman said it was the single greatest performance he's seen from a player in a long time, and that is exactly why he is the Parker University Game-Winning Decision of the Week award winner. Parker University Sports and Performance Center in Synopsis help performance centers treats athletic injury and provides rehabilitation to help get athletes competing as fast as possible. If you would like to learn more on that, go to synopshpc.com. Congratulations again to Dallas Jesuits Robert Fitzgerald on being the Parker University Game-Winning Decision of the Week award winner. Good on you, man. Quite an impressive catch there. And now we head to America's favorite segment, Final Thoughts. And real fast, just to go over kind of some programming notes again. We will be having a normal show tomorrow. It'll be me riding solo again, but we're here and we're ready to go. Hope you'll come party with me. And then we will not be having a show on Friday. No Mailbag Friday. If you were curious as to who the Assistant Coach of the Week winner is or the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week, we will make sure to, again, put those out right around the noon hour on our social media pages on Twitter at DCTF, so you can catch that there. The other thing I wanted to make sure to mention today is National Coaches Day. So from all of us at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, happy National Coaches Day to not only all the football coaches out there, but volleyball, track, soccer, every single coach in the Great Lone Star State. We couldn't do what we do without you guys, and so we are forever indebted and grateful for y'all's help in making all this nonsense happen and for impacting the lives of students. That's really big and shouldn't go unnoticed. So if you have a special coach in your life, if you don't see them today, go ahead and shoot them a text message or something and thank them for everything they do, because that's a job that I firmly believe that people are destined to do. So happy National Coaches Day. And I think that'll do it for us. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. We hope that you'll give us a like on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. And, of course, see us on TexasFootball.com. Thank you to Greg Powers from Next Level Athlete, to Caden Jensen, the tight end at Flower Mound High School. I am Ashley Pickle. Vince Young, you're going to have to wait to get your trophy until next week. I did not bring that home with me. I forgot. That's on me. But, hey, guys, appreciate it, and we will see you again tomorrow on Texas Football Today.